Today I went in depression after Jodel died.
Mm.
I call it silent depression because I didn't know that I was going through depression until years after. Because when Jodel died, I was doing everything. Children gone to school, ready children go to school, everything, husband gone work. You see, as everybody gone, I lock the window and the doors. Sometimes my sister would call and say, Michelle, come down now, you're up alone up in the house. I say, all right, man, trust me, I was finding all different type of excuse why I was doing this and that. The time I was in the house, knife, pills, and my husband never knew all of these things happening. Me I work in a church same way, me I do everything same way. When I say me I do everything same way. If it's choir, whatever them, me I do clean church, me I do everything. Me I do wifely duty. Being a mother. People I tell me say, boy, you're strong, you know, you're good. And that time behind closed doors, I was there battling with voices telling me to take the pill, kill myself. Me I walk on the road until today. That was one of the reasons why I'm afraid to cross the street.
My God.
Until today. I was walking and the voice I said, jump. Truck I come and them see me I go so and people wouldn't understand why I go so them would think that the sound of the truck. But the voice, when the voice said jump, I feel like I go jump, I go so. I just find like I crawl up in myself. I ride on the bike with my husband. Sometimes I hold on on him and maybe wonder why. The voice said to me, say, you go crash, jump.
My God.
And I battle with that for years.
Hi, beautiful people. Greetings to you, one and all. This is Motivations and Memoirs, and I am Ivorika. If this is your first time, special welcome. So we are back continuing the testimony of Lady Rhona Miller, and what a testimony it has been. And trust me, it has not yet finished. You have to, well, the fact that you're listening to me means that you're here. So you have come to hear the concluding portion of this woman of God who has been through enough to know that God is enough for her. Wow, as we embrace the topic for this season, my life, my purpose, His praise. Truly, this is one story. Well, all the stories so far you have seen, you have listened to the life testimonies. You've seen the purpose, and you also have seen the praises going up to God, because what a good God He is. So stay tuned, guys. Walk on over with me as we join with Lady Rhona as she continues to testify. Remember, share with somebody and leave a comment. And if you have not yet subscribed to Motivations and Memoirs, please do so. See you in a bit.
You come back to the Lord, your first child. We're not sure if it's the gun that hit you in the stomach, or is the doctor, or if it could be both. But here you are now having, this is suffering with your child, that you have to be up and down and your hands tied. And as I say, you had two other children, so you have triplets. And in the midst of all of that, you can't even enjoy your money, because you have to put down money, because at any moment he can get ill and you have to rush to the doctor and all of that. The good thing about it, and I love that, my mother raised us that way. Talk to your children. And I always tell younger mothers, talk to your pitney then. Grow your children,
they will.
that you can talk to them. I remember when my mother was struggling, and my mother called me, a 6 pitney she have. She calls and she said, children, we're in a circle in front of her now. And she said, children, and she would tell us. So we know, say, we're going to go through some rough days because no money, no day. Right? And those days, saltfish did cheap, and we eat saltfish every day, saltfish and dumpling, and it was a pleasure. We never did, because our mother made us understood, just as though you spoke to your children, and so they wouldn't even open to your sister, say, boy, a little noodle, we didn't get, and we're not even Because we really want, because I mean, with Jamaican people, you know, want rice and peas and chicken on a Sunday. They would want it every day, much less on a Sunday. But purpose, like my life, amidst all the struggles, your life, Lady Rhona, amidst all the struggles, your purpose, because working under the leadership of your now deceased former pastor, you worked, you gave, you know, you both gave yourselves, you gave your family, because you put them together. So they were in ministry from, I mean, you put them in a ministry from them in a belly, them in a ministry, right? Once we are in church. And then now, purpose would also have it that, as you say, you did rough, like how me did rough, but we come up now. So we are now able to understand the little face to pity them. And people tell me, you see, you love Rude Pitney. My son's lady said to me, Mrs. T, I hope when your grandchild, it's like how you love Rude Pitney, I hope when your grandchild born and Rude, you're ready for take up. Me say, look here, if your man did rude too, you know, tell you, he was a rude little boy. So in Pitney going to be rude. Because I was a rude child. And I was rude because of, you see, we have issues, people have issues in church, and that's why I always say to people, when I see people react, no go bad mouth them, it's a reason why they're reacting like that. Me did I react too because me did have issues. You understand me? But now that we come and we have these young people in front of us, we got putting away on who have them issues. So some of them want to come out of the rat, where you call it, your mother house?
Rata Castle.
Rata Castle. A lot of them are living in a Rata Castle where you have to make appointment if you want a nice spot in the bed. So you have to go earlier than everybody, right? It's a serious thing. And some have to sleep on floor because you can't take the kicker, you can't take the bed wetting because I know you wet the bed, but are you the next person who sleep beside you and you end up wake up, wet up. And you have to check yourself and wonder if I you people the bed. And you realize, but you know, say I know you, but the bed wet. You understand me? And so probably the safest place for you is on the floor. So when these children come to us now in church, the attitude and the this and the that, we are able to understand them. So we can call them and say, come here, let's talk. What does that mean? We know how to get around them and we understand them. One of the things about, and I heard you talk about the elders in church. I call it the generation gap. A lot of elders in church, them forget to them be young. And them used to get trouble too, and they had issues. And so when the young people come in the church, rather than steering them, we sort of, you know, hit them too hard. But I'm chatting too much to make the point I'm making that you want Rev worked. Right, and that was purpose, you know. So amid the struggles that you were going through in your lives, you were still working for God, right? Because purpose cannot die, because God knew that many years after a Power of Praise ministry was going to be formed. And one of the things about your ministry is that a lot of young people are there, a lot of young girls are there that, you know, the Lord know that you did have to come groom them, and only you, Rhona, could understand. Say, look here, I know why you're off them, you know. And people that probably look at you and say, watch her, and she spoiled the pin them, you know, but it's not because we spoil them, it's because we baby them. Yes, but it's because we understand where they are coming from, because we were there too. So we're talking about purpose, my life, my purpose for His praise. So all of that was for His praise. I hope I don't make you forget your point, because I know I said a lot.
I'm telling you, say, I'll cook cargo church, you know.
Pardon?
Sometimes I cook breakfast, sometimes I cook one whole heap of food cargo church, because I know what it is like going to church, that they are worship and you're hungry and know that you don't go home back to anything. That is how a lot of things, that is my concern. When the children are, even adults, leave church and you go home, what are you going home back to? Sometimes I cook enough and them eat and who backs up food, carry home back and some, and you'd be surprised to know how much persons boxing up the food, saying them carry home something for them children or something, because they never know what for dinner. And I realize that ministry is not just, because in my younger days coming up in church, all they wanted was to know that you were coming to church. You were present in the building. That was I'm not going to say it's all pastors, right? But most of the elderly persons are the leaders that I grew up in church with. It was like they never concerned about emotionally how you are feeling physically, what you are going through. When you leave church as a young person, 12, 13, 14-year-old, what are you going back to? You are living, you are saved at 14, 12, 13, when all of these emotion and everything start build up and all of that. 17-year-old, and you are living with parents who are not saved, siblings who are not saved. And it was like their concern when you leave church now, what are you going back into? As 14-year-old, 15-year-old, living with peer unsaved. When you come church, you know, it's a different feeling and setting from when you're going back home. You know, you're going back home to parents who are playing dancehall music. Them are curse, do them curse words. Them are smoke. Everybody have sex and all of that. That's a struggle for you, you know.
Of course.
Different from a young person who is going back to a Christian home where your mother, your father is a pastor. What my children are experiencing now is a totally different thing from what
you experience.
The experience growing up, you know. Because when I was growing up, my mother actually backslid. When I was in my teens, still going to church, my mother backslid, even though I can't stop because she sent me to church. I run me to church, she stopped at church as a big woman, you know. So you go back in all of that. You understand you're going back in all of that. And sometimes we spend more times, and it's abusing, you know. I think that we abuse the children, the young people, when they come to church. We don't know, we know the home that they are coming from. Most of my young children at church, their parents are unsaved. The whole family is unsaved. Most of them came to church because the dancing and all of that, my dancing, them eventually got saved. So I can't treat them now, you know, like a person who is in church 5, even them in a church 10 years, 20, because they are coming from, you know what them call the rider and the naked clothes. Most of I have challenged with my young people to keep on, to cover themselves and all of that. But I can't throw them through the door because of that.
Yes.
I have young persons who get pregnant where all their mothers say them actually go. I'm gonna say, do you know what weird? I remember one time even down by, I had this church sister and she said she got put out her daughter down by my former church. And I have to say to her, I said, put her out weird. You're putting her out to another baby. Because the shame what we call shame, you know. Because we are Christian, our children them get pregnant in a church out of marriage. So we are take it as shame and we take some drastic, you understand what I say? And we throw them out. That's not Christ-like. I don't consider that. And I can tell you, Lady Thomas, I use the things that I go through, my experience coming up in church as a young person. I use that to guide my youth.
Yes.
I remember one day in church, when my young people start acting up, you know. I remember one Saturday I call a meeting and I tell them to come to church. Because I didn't want them to, when the adults sits there. I just wanted them alone. And I said to them, talk on the mind. Trust me. And a lot of persons would not do that. I said, talk on the mind. Tell me what to think of me. When I talk to them and tell them, say, don't wear this, don't do this. But my thing is that I believe that if you are going to tell them not to wear this, you must give them a replacement.
Yeah. Okay.
Give them some options. Give them something to work with. So most time my children, them call me Mother Ola. That's what they call me, Mother Ola. Because them say sometimes they just give up on Sunday.
Okay.
I cook, or I go town, go shopping. I get some money and I come home back with one woman clothes and girl clothes where them a boy. And so they call me Mother Ola. So I would go down if I see something and I say this can fit this and this look nice. I'm not gonna buy in a maxi. I can tell you this. This is not one pastor's wife who is going downtown to buy a big dress, sweeping on the ground with some long sleeve and give to my young people. I will not do that. I'm not going to buy a naked clothes for them, but I'm not going to buy something that they're going to
young
feel
people,
uncomfortable.
we know them going
I
comfortable.
buy them something with it, when them put it on, them feel comfortable and them look nice.
Of course.
So sometimes that is what I do. I'll buy clothes and then when them come on a Saturday, put the bag and I say, you go in there and try on this. And that is how I work with them. And so,
One of the,
what
go ahead, go ahead.
I remember the Saturday now I said to them, said, tell me on the mind. Good while now, that is when them just coming in, you know. And you know, them time they know them hot, them head hot. So me call them, you know, them head hot. Because the least thing you do, you know, them, you know, them get off.
Mm-hmm.
And see, Lady Thomas, remember me tell you, I don't know who tell me if you go tell them to start talk and just feel free, talk where you want to talk. And remember me tell you, you know, it's when them start the night, and it was, I have no bucket even now. Remember me alone upon my side, you know. And when we start, and then when I feel say I'm hear enough, I say, and then they go on and I say, I'm stop on the nice now, yeah. No, I hear nothing more from them. And them dead and I say, stop, I say, me say, on the now coming here, so. I may tell you, after I'm done with them, so that I reach home, I go home. I just laugh, maybe the people must think some I get mad on the road. Because I just laugh, you know. I just laugh, I just laugh, oh. The young tell the people themselves just talk, and when them start talk, remember me tell you, say after them done pour out, all of them want pour out. Who want cry and who cry and who not cry and who puff and who want. Next Sunday them coming and I sit up on my position and I'm gonna go down because sometimes even in church on a Sunday, I would go where they are to sit. I would not sit on the restroom, I sit where they are. And I sit down, hold my straight and do me, I do them. And I look on them now. So for about a week or so, I saw me do them and so them have it. I watch them through my side of my eye, you know. And then I play big and I say, watch how I'm gonna make them feel some vex with them, man. And everybody I hear the whispering and says, some vex with me or something. Till eventually the next one of the son them just cook one whole pot of food. And my carrot, I say, we're gonna have something. You guys prepare to come to church and not going home after and something. I would carry games and something. I would play and working and something. But trust me, see, after I allow them to pour out, and can I tell you that one of them, she blazed more than fire. And when I saw her the night, could I tell you, Lady Thomas, that I saw myself?
Wow.
That was me, you know. Yeah. When we were younger in church, you know, when everybody are crying, me not crying, you know. When we stand up to the adults, them, you know, and because everybody are crying, and me, them are wait for the young people, them are wait for to defend them, you know. And when I stand up, you know, and when I split fire, you know, and when I saw that young girl split fire, I saw myself. I said, God, no, I said, God, what is it to me?
Yes, ma'am.
I say, what is it to me, God? And trust me, that's one of my best. I can call her, even if she feels that she's not there. Sometimes she say, I say, don't worry about that. Try, just do what you can.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Very
First, I say, I buy them. I cook food, I buy clothes for them. I try to buy them love, but they would not understand. They would not understand. And people,
you have to be in the situation. You'd have to have the experience to understand, you know, what they are going through.
You have some adults, you know. You have some Christians, because as some we call them recycle Christians. All right, I'm gonna explain it for you. Them in church for years, backslide. Go on, left the church, I go on next church. And then them come there, and then they left the one there and go recycle Christians.
Oh,
them just, yeah. They just keep recycling them into salvation. So, and them are the troublemaker. Them get trouble enough. Because everywhere them go, them want control. Them want to tell you the church where them are come from, how them used to do things. And I saw the pastor used to do it, and I saw the pastor wife, and I saw the pastor wife's dress, and I saw the pastor. You understand me, them people here? But because I know who I am, let me tell you, see, as a pastor's wife, we have to know who we are.
Yes.
In Christ. We have to know our relationship with Christ. Because if you don't know that, when people start to talk, trust me, they are going to break you down. They're going to stress you out. You're going to have high blood pressure and all of that. I tell them all the while, I dress to how I'm comfortable. I don't dress too much. I dress to how I am comfortable. Because if you don't follow, if you're not comfortable with yourself, you know, and what you are doing, trust me, church people will run you to wreck.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will wreck you. And then all that stress is going to affect your children. It's going to affect your husband. Because
the ministry.
And as a wife, if you are not, because this at first it happens to me as a pastor's wife. If you are not able to control your emotion, control what people say to you, what you hear, and when I say control, it's like you know what to take in and what to leave alone. Because and everything when me hear them say, me take it in. Because me not become a sponge. If you are not careful, you become a sponge. You see, when a sponge go in the water, any liquid come near the sponge, it's going to suck up everything. Not me.
And then when it sucks up everything, it drips now on the wrong things.
On the wrong things. And I'm not going, and I learned, I have seen it over the years and I've learned from it that I will not allow church to let me abuse my children. They have a life to live. Trust me, my boys, everybody know them play the drum and the keyboard. They are the musicians of the church. But I know that they are their own person.
Yes.
They are not the pastor. They are not the pastor's wife. They are not their mother and they are not their father. I want them to get saved. I want them to set them life straight with God and all of that. And trust me, when I ask my boys, when I'm ready, I'm start, you know, I'm start show them, I'm say, Javon, I don't want to comfortably. Sometimes you play them, and sometimes I see the call of God on their lives, you know. Persons wouldn't understand that as a pastor or a pastor's wife, your children, the enemy, will target them more than your unsaved sister or brother children.
Absolutely.
Because you as the pastor, and you get, if you as an anointed man or woman of God, not saying pastor now, and your children, if God get a hold upon them and the Holy Spirit get a hold upon them heart, especially in that same household, you can imagine what kind of fire, a blaze, or power in that house here. If JPS connection, you ever sit on the light post, when the breeze are blowing, you know, you have your good connection. And somebody now have an illegal connection beside your own. So when the breeze are blue and all of that, you ever see the fire and all of that? Because of the different power, you know. The different power and all of that. You can imagine when you're anointing, your son and your daughter's anointing.
Listen to me, man.
You think Satan a fool? Satan know where mad we know.
What to you? I think it was maybe 2 Sundays ago. So we have a friend, a couple in ministry. We met them 27 years ago because we met them 3 years after. So I think this month would be 27 years, full 27 years or so since we met them. And listen, man, you're gonna hear from them in this segment as well. But they have 3 boys, and me tell us that the enemy fight them left, right, and center. These boys are Christians, you know. But recently I had the opportunity of hearing the second boy intercede. Because they have a program on Facebook. And me say, I was like this. Me say to my husband, but Jesus mercy, see the problem there? This is why the enemy fights, because imagine them a three boy behind their parents in ministry. Satan not have no chance. And so because he knows that, he comes at us, he comes at our families, because the whole aim is to cripple the ministry. So I can understand where you're coming from. But you were also about to share with you coming from church and an accident.
Yeah.
The accident with the
Yeah, in 2007, I was pregnant again and coming from church. We went to visit this church at Brandon Hill. I wasn't in the same car with my husband. Four of us as ladies were in that car. But I remember going around the junction. The last thing I saw, because the car that my husband was in front of us, was the car going around the corner. By then, I felt tired. So I said to them, I'm going to just pull back and lay down a little. So by the time I lay down like this, rest back my head, it was like we hear something lick, I tell you, and we just feel the car just, like this force just hit us, shake us, but we just like we jerk and stop. We don't know what is happening all to that. The driver was out. The young lady beside me, her hand break. But I remember I was wet. So I was saying to them that I'm wet up, and all now we don't know. We were just trying to call the driver and try to get her awake and the next young lady at the front. But by then now, I don't know how them realize, because all the cars actually gone. Said something happened up there, so them turned back anyway. When we finally got out of the car, because police, fire brigade, everything had to come, we see this car mash up, turn over, It was a drunk driver coming up. And when him come around the corner with the speed, him just hit us. At that time, we can't just come out of the car now, we were on the precipice to go over, the edge of the precipice. Even the police, them said them don't know what held the car. But we know, so when we feel like we get this hit, we just feel the car just stuck, sudden stuck. And when we realize now, the police them said them don't know what all in that car, because we were actually to go over. Anyway, they rushed me I was one of the persons that they rushed first to the hospital because I was pregnant and I was wet and all of that. When I went there, the doctor said he saw something on the surface. He wasn't sure what it was because I had to do some tests and something. They didn't sure why I was wet and all of that. Them run tests and nothing showed that anything was wrong. Went back to my doctor. I did about 8 tests, because I keep doing tests and nothing showing up wrong. When I was about 6 months, going into 7 months or so, and that happened from I was about 4 or 5 months. One day I was in the house and my body just freeze. I was just walking and can't move. I can't shake like this. I was just standing up like a stone. And then from my waist down, this pain, I've never felt this pain in my life. When I say it was like fire, something stinging me, and all of that, until when eventually when it started, where all I could do is just go so and fall back in the chair. I went to the doctor, and I keep going back till eventually I have to start going to the doctor 2 times a week, because it happened a second time. And they can't tell what was happening. I did tests again, the test not showing anything more. Till one day I went to the doctor because the pain was coming on again. And when I saw my doctor, he even give me an injection to put me to sleep today. They couldn't get any urine. The little drop or something them see was red like blood was in it and all of that. So he was sending me home now to get things to come back to go. My sister came home because I was in the taxi and the taxi man was just chatting and him say, I don't know, don't feel like we may talk to you, but you just look like you got pass out for me. The time I feel heavy, but not realizing that I was swelling then. When I reached, I said to him, don't let me out at my own. Carry me down by my family house. I said, my mother at the gate, I said, Mama, she not answering me. So the driver said, Mama, I hear that I call you. My mother said when she look at me, she see a big fat man so come out of the car, she not see me. That time, all my features changed, everything started changing. When I went inside, I couldn't even go on the bed, the way of the pain, everything down here. So it was just like, eventually when my sister came from work and said, no, she rushed me to the hospital. From them, she rushed me to the hospital. That was it. Them say emergency surgery. They couldn't get urine, nothing at all. That was in the 5 o'clock. And I didn't go to theater until after 9. That was what I saw on the docket. The doctor eventually, I remember the last thing I saw when they called my husband to sign the papers. He asked them, say he had to leave. And he just asked them if he can just give him 1 second. And them said, hurry up. I don't know what he said, but I figured that he was praying. He just rested his hands on my forehead, and that was it. I don't know anything. I don't even remember when him leaves. They said I passed out. Even in the surgery, they said I died. And one doctor would not give up. And till eventually he got me back. When I woke up on a lot of machines. All sorts of something over my body. And so I feel like I put on maybe 300-400 pounds. Because that was how heavy I was. My mouth couldn't open, couldn't move because I have to keep rubbing ice. That night, I couldn't, the doctor said I was not to stay alone. And I spent the night alone in a dark room in the hospital. It was election. And I remember it was Bruce Golding win that election. I remember it was, war was happening and all of that. And the doctor asked the nurse to stay with me. She said she's not staying, she have to go vote. And the night, you believe me that the night she didn't come in there and turn on light, she not come look back for me, nothing. By morning, my mouth was locked because she's supposed to use the ice. All I was laying down in there, pain. I couldn't feel my body. Nothing at all I couldn't feel. I didn't know myself. I never even know my name. I remember that I heard a sound. I was hearing a little sound and this person was calling, but I can't talk. I can't do anything at all. I was in the dark. And when I look, I see this lady come up to me and she said, she talked to me, but I can't respond to her or anything because I don't know myself or anything. Until she said to me, I hear when she said to me, quint your eye if you understand me. I go so I can't quit my eye. And she said, try I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna blink my eye. And she said, nobody no come look for you. I'm gonna go so. We could have barely shake my head. So she started quarreling. She said, what are them wicked? Leave me alone in the dark and something. And she got tell the doctor, and you understand me? You see, when I was messed up, I was wet, everything was on the bed so because nobody came to look at me and to change me. Remember, I said I just come out of surgery with machine, all the machine, and they be all around me same way now. Nobody at all. Me and God alone. Because that's all me can say, me and God alone. Until when she couldn't even move me to change me. All she could have done, she could have barely lift me up and get a pad and put on me. And so, because me not have on a clothes, nothing, all them do is throw something on me because the whole things them that was connected to me. And eventually when the doctor said she was going to try, a couple of days after she said she was going to try me to go on the ward so that I wouldn't be alone. Anyway, when I went on the ward, I couldn't manage myself still. I couldn't even get up off the bed or so. But I remember asking about my baby. Never see my baby yet, you know. And them keep telling me that the baby is all right, but the pressure was, everything was up. So they wanted the pressure to go down. So them don't want to tell me about the baby. Everybody telling me the baby is all right. I remember the 7th day. I can't forget that in my life. If I tell a person, I don't know if I was asleep. I don't know if I was awake. But I remember laying on the bed and I heard the voice. And it was the same voice. That was the second time I heard that voice so clear. The same voice that when Jodel was in my hand, dead, that said, blow. I heard that voice again. And as some know say, and on my mind, me never go mad. Because me I tell people, say, anytime I tell the story, I tell them, say, me don't know, me just hear the voice 3 or 4 times, say, blow. Me look around, nobody, no, there was nobody. This time when I lay on the bed, there was nobody. I hear the voice say, go and see the baby today because you're not going to see him again. There and then, me don't know why the voice say no. But me know say I couldn't sleep again even if I did sleep. I remember I can't wait until visiting hours up. When my husband come and say, I have to go see the baby, because I don't know what, but the voice said to me, say, and he must say, which voice? I say, I don't know, but the voice said to me, say, we must go see the baby, because I not see him again. The nurses and the doctor say, I can't go down there because I can't stand up, I can't walk, I can't do nothing. And them can't make me go drop down or something. And them said there was no porter there to carry me. Anyway, I beg until then to say, I carry me down there. So when I went down there, I never even spent because I couldn't hold the baby. You know? I never held that child. I never touched that child. And all I could do, because them just want me to look at him and come back up. Because they never even want me to stay in a long time, standing up or sitting up. And when I saw the child, I saw my first child. When Jodel born, Jodel was small. He was a little smaller than Jodel, but the same ear and everything will run down him. And I tell you, but when we look at the little boy, all he was doing was because he was getting oxygen and everything. So I said to them, I want to tell me some my baby, all right. I don't like how him look. Why him look so him breathe? Him look like him don't look good. And the nurse goes to answer to me, say, come go up, man, and don't worry. And by the time I reach up to go on the bed, I fight to go up on the bed because visiting hours was up now and then it's gone. So me I try every way to turn to sit up on the bed. Because remember, say me sick and all of that. The nurse said to me, say, don't, Miss Miller, don't go on the bed. They want it back at the nursery. And when I went down there, the doctor, the time being a pain, you know, the doctor tell me, because I wasn't supposed to be sitting up on a chair so long. And the doctor tell me, until I said to her, I said, my baby dead? She said, yeah. So I said, doctor, why you not tell me that? I don't understand them something what you tell. They said as I walked away, as I turned the nurse, so she was looking up. And when as I turned my back to the baby, she said the baby just goes and take him last breath.
God. God allowed you the opportunity to see the child.
That was the only thing with that. It was trust me, at first I was saying, God, with all that I'm doing and I'm going through all of this, me the only one as my sibling has served you. Me come with a sick child, none of them not come with it. Me I go through hardship, none of them not go through it. All of them that happened to my baby, them are dead. And none of the unsaved one, them baby now die. And I tell you, say, but I was battling in my heart until when I realized and I lay down on the bed. That was the longest night for me. The phone rang and I couldn't answer the phone. When I time I look at Mr. Denson, mother call me in the night, I couldn't answer nobody. I couldn't answer. From Mr. call Denson and tell him the baby dead. I lay there until one nurse passed and she come and she said to me, say, you want me to draw the curtain, Miss Miller? I tell you, say me a crying and nobody hear me a crying. And she tell yes, and she draw the curtain and me tell you, I don't think I've ever cried so much without making a sound in my life. I remember when Jodel died, I was battling. Can I tell you, I went in depression after Jodel died?
Mm.
I call it silent depression because I didn't know that I was going through depression until years after. Because when Jodel died, I was doing everything. Children gone to school, ready children go to school, everything, husband gone work. You see, as everybody gone, I lock the window and the doors. Sometimes my sister would call and say, Michelle, come down now, you're up alone up in the house. I say, all right, man, trust me, I was finding all different type of excuse why I was doing this and that. The time I was in the house, knife, pills, and my husband never knew all of these things happening. I work in a church same way, I do everything same way. When I say I do everything same way, if it's choir, whatever them, I do clean church, I do everything, I do wifely duty, being a mother. People I tell me say, boy, you're strong, you're good. And that time behind closed doors, I was there battling with voices telling me to take the pill, kill myself. I walk on road until today. That was one of the reasons why I'm afraid to cross street.
My God.
Until today, I was walking and the voice I said, Trump. Truck I come and them see me I go so and people wouldn't understand why I go so them would think that the sound of the truck. But the voice, when the voice said jump, I feel like I go jump, I go so. I just find like I creel up in myself. I ride on the bike with my husband. Sometimes I hold on on him and maybe wonder why. The voice said to me, say, you go crash, jump.
My God.
And I battle with that for years. Until one day I was in the house by myself and I sit down and I was crying and I say, God, you forsake me. And I heard the voice said to me, have I ever forsaken you?
Ah, Jesus.
I heard the voice playing. I was the only one locked up in the house and I hear like this man voice talking to me. I say, have I ever forsaken you? Haven't I always been there with you? And then it's like everything started coming back from Jodel was sick. And it was like I started seeing where Jodel should have died the first as he born. I should have died at the point when the gun hit me in my belly. And, and everything just started coming back until, sis, it was right there and then I got a healing. I don't know where the healing come from, but my mind was healed, my thoughts were, my heart was healed because I was carrying this pain and this hurt in church, doing everything.
God.
Preach if them ask me for preach. Encouraging people. I talk to people about marriage, encouraging about marriage. And inside, I wasn't there. I was broken. I was damaged. Till one time it started, I'll affect my marriage. One time I hate my husband from inside. Trust me, I was there sometime when my daddy with my husband in my mind, I said, hurry up and come off from me. And all of those things, I was inside, I was damaged, I was hurting. And when I go outside, leave the house and everything, it was like I had two faces. It was two personality, two everything. Because when I was out there, everybody see a all right me go through that with Jodel and Jodel die and I was okay. But inside they wouldn't understand. But when everybody was gone and I was alone, the voices, it was me and the voices, me and the voices. And I can tell you this today that it wasn't me why I didn't take the pills. It wasn't me why I didn't jump. It wasn't me why I didn't use the knife because I had no control of myself not doing all of that.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
But it was God. I don't even have to guess why I'm alive today. It was God himself. It wasn't the doctor why I came back. They were saying that it was the doctor because even when I was tied off, and not even tie off. But tell you, sis, I was supposed to tie off in 2007, no more babies. Tie off, sign and all of that, It looked like them sign it in the theater room. And then what happened to me now, They might try get me back. Nobody realized that the tie, that all of that no do. So it's signed in the docket, say me tie off, come home back, and about 3 years or so after, me start feel sick like I'm out of it.
I remember.
Let me tell you.
Your husband was preaching. I remember what we had at church, and he was a designated preacher for I think 2 or 3 nights. And we are praying at church, so we are praying because Minister Miller not well and whatever. We put on a prayer for you, see. And the following night he came back and he come in years and said, Minister Thomas, guess what? Pregnant, and we put on a piece of laugh. I mean, it was so funny to us. I remember.
We were thinking about babies because I'm supposed to be tied off and all of that.
Yes.
And it said, the doctor said me no for a book from early. And if I tell you, that was the best pregnancy I've ever had.
Wow.
All my pregnancy have complication because I am Irish. And my blood type and all of that, everything is messed up. And there was always blood in my urine or something. And this one was, sometimes the doctor said to me, Miss Miller, you sure? I say, I'm fine. Me not throw up. Sometimes them do all sorts of things to make me keep down the food and all of that. This one, nothing is going wrong. I just don't want to meat. All I wanted was vegetables and all of that.
Because this one is one girl, you know.
When the doctor send me down to book early now, because you know, so me never did have no more baby, you know. You see, when I was there now, I'm finished. Them take my docket and I go in. The nurse said to me, say, sit down here, so. When everybody at the clinic clear, you know, I sit down and wait how long. When I look now, I see them call me in our room, one whole heap of doctors. Miss Miller, you can't go home. I say, why you can't go home? The time the pressure start run up now, you know. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be pregnant. So everybody start fretting now because the docket big, you know. And them are fretting now, say, why am I pregnant with all what happened before? And them a call the doctor. The doctor was not in the in Jamaica. Who did a search, who them said care me back, get my back and all of that. Everybody afraid to do it. I spent 27 days in the hospital, not sick, you know. Because from that day, them said them not going to labor. Them afraid from going to labor. And it was chickengunya's time. You know, when chickengunya go around and so. All in passage, them back up, make room, put me now. Them say me for bring fun. And then the doctor tell me, say, I'm sending you on the weekend. Yeah. Then the head doctor come and say, you're not going anywhere. And trust me, I went through, it was like the devil was fighting. Because them say I'm not to go in labor till me eventually nearly go in labor. Because every time, about 3 or 4 times, them say them I can't go theater. Them start me from eat about 10 o'clock the night before. Then when they hear me now go to theater again. And it was like that. And me tell you, say it was one sister, you know, when I start feeling pains and them, I'm say, why the baby is stiff up? And when the sister comes, she call on there and say, why on don't sister is labor she going in? And she started telling them, say, if you make that woman dead in here today, me don't know one I go tell me, say, I'm going to call up all woman to call up and something. And the sister, the nurse come now and say, Miss Miller, Jesus, pray, me I beg you, pray and talk to God, touch your body and beg and talk to your body till the body say shut down. Because she said she call and tell them, say, me up there in a labor. Just to get me down there because them say, them not like how the belly start feeling. I mean, it's supposed, because remember, say, everybody are fretting now. The doctor, why them keep, when I realized now why them keep putting off the surgery is that nobody wanted to do the surgery. The doctor still never reached back in Jamaica. So it was him, like him supposed to come and him end up of a cancel. So every time he cancel, they cancel me. Because everybody is afraid to do the surgery because them know what it happened the last time. And then I always have this complication because Javel, when I went in to have Javel, you know, them actually tie me on the bed. I had the baby in the same waiting area, you know. I don't went in the labor room, you know. Because the doctor, my doctor always calls somebody. When the doctor came, he said, if I come back 10 o'clock on you, Edward, you know, I'm going to. And when I look, I see 10 o'clock, I tell you, I start fret. And the man tell them, say, draw the curtain. And then the nurse start quarrel. I said, she can't have baby ears. And him say, what did I say? He put on PP back for me, everything. Because that's how the pressure always go up. And him said, draw the curtain, go for whatever. And she said, she can't. And I tell you, say, the rest of the ladies, you know, are cursing, you know. Them curse and say, oh, what's special about she, so? Why we have to run go classroom and we have feel pain? And some of our baby drop out. I want to make sure baby on bed right there, so. And me tell yourself, the Marcus and the doctor now watch him and all the nurse, you know, upset and him say, what did I say you want to do? And she go for all of this stuff and it's right there. So him screaming around, because him say, I'm not moving me and make me have the baby. So it's like, trust me, with all of the struggles that I've got through, all of the attacks, somehow God always make a way. Trust me.
Purpose.
He always make a way. The only thing with my last child that died that made a difference was that God knows, say, I never see Jodel when he was dying. And trust me, and that's what me tell myself. God knows, say, I couldn't bear
not seeing
this one. Yeah. Even though I never, trust me, there's a place here that cannot heal. The fact that it's not, I'm not hurting, you know, but the fact that I never touch him, I never got to hold him. There's something, you know, and people might not understand what I say. You know, since the first time I got said this, I don't remember if I ever tell nobody else this, but with Jodel, anytime Jodel's birthday or the day when he died, it's like I'm always sick. I don't know why, but I can remember from Jodel die until now. Every time, sometimes I feel sick and when I realize I'm looking on the calendar because of the memory. That's another thing, because I lost my memory in 2007. They have to give my memory, they have to tell me my name. After the surgery, the doctor say a lot of things messed up, but them say you're alive. Because the morning, every doctor, every nurse come a call and say, Rhona Miller, you name, sir? Oh, you're lucky, sir. Because everybody heard that I died. I lost my memory. I remember I'll go to school, go sign for my children, one of my son. And when I take out the paper, I was blank. I couldn't remember his name. I couldn't remember nothing at all. It was a good thing that the child was sensible enough to sign the paper and tell me. So, but God is good.
Amen.
God is good. God put me in the classroom. I end up reaching in the classroom. Trust me. Even sometimes, only the teacher that I work with would know that sometimes it's like the man, and trust me, God bring me in a classroom with a teacher where, because I couldn't remember nothing from school days, you know, nothing that happened before the operation. I saw, even now I see people who I know, some I know them. And when they talk to my classmates and Rhona, from them say Rhona, I know it must be a classmate or somebody who well know me. And I have to smile with them and something because I felt so embarrassed. You know, the person that talked to me, so I don't know them name. I have to act like, you know, I know them, remember them name and all of that. Until sometimes it comes back to me another time. But the good thing about it, if I tell people this, sometimes I don't know how I preach a word, or I always exalt, because I always say I'm a preacher. I don't know how I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I do it, because the memory, trust me. Most of the time I will write, you will see with my book if I'm going to preach, because I write. I cannot come with a study like some persons. Can't do that. Would study a message and something. Most of the time, sometimes pastors, I'll do me this too. Sometimes I'll Saturday night, him say to me, say, you're going to preach. I mean, not about early Saturday morning, not about Saturday night. Sometimes I say to one Sunday morning, I say to him, say, when you, at what time you prepare your message when you are going to preach? Because when I was saying prepare for him on time. And sometimes he tell me, and trust me, sometimes sometimes if I'm going to preach, it's like I know. Sometimes like I'm in the bathroom, I'm here, and then this word just come to me. And then it's like this voice in my head and bring me through this thing, and it's like in the Bible, you know. If me gonna preach about Joseph, it's like something just take back the whole of my mind in the Bible as all the story is. And I just can't explain it. I just can't explain it. And when I prepare a word, sis, I can tell you this, 3/4 of the times when I prepare a word, it's not what is in there. I remember one Sunday, I don't remember if it was my birthday, when Pastor was sick the other day, and I had to preach 3 Sundays because he couldn't preach. I had to preach 3 Sundays. One of the Sundays I had to preach 2 times because I had door of faith that I tell him before time that I was going to preach for them convention. I had to preach at church, so I have to change church time to 8 o'clock to finish 10 o'clock to go to them. And when I opened the books, Lady Thomas, it was a blank book. It was a blank book. All I could do was laugh. So no, hear me. I didn't even know that it come out so loud. You know, hear me to the people. Well, this book is the wrong book I take up, you know. There's nothing in this book. But then I remember the team. And then I said to them, I tell them the team, and I say, and I don't even go change it, you know. I know the topic is this. And make God do what he want, do and say what he want, say, you know, all I know. And I start sing a song. And when I done sing the song, trust me, that was one of the best message. I tell you, the Holy Ghost did do his thing.
Amen.
And I can tell you, most of the time now, persons might say when I preach it, I can't preach for me. I can't preach on my own. Because if I follow this memory here, nothing would come. I can't study long. I read, you know, I love to read. I used to love to read. I love to read even now. But sometimes I will read, and trust me, I don't read. If you don't know, if I don't mind, I don't remember what I read. But I'm a writer. I always write down. I remember years ago when I was young, a missionary at our first church looked at me and she said to me, because me used to, like, sometimes even I'm asleep, my ear voice is talking to me now. I have to get up and write, I jot down. And she said to me, say, why you stop write? I'm not tell nobody now. And she said, why you stop write? And she said, the Holy Spirit said to tell you to get back your pen and your paper, put it at your bedside. And now, if you see, I have a place beside my bed. If you look there, you see a lot of books, exercise and all of that. Some of them not finish and start a different one. Because sometimes I'm in my sleep and like the Holy Spirit just start talking to me. And I have to get up and start jot down. Sometimes when we get up in the morning, I look at it because I'm in my sleep, you know. I feel I try make out which word I write. Because you know, I sleep, but I have to, but that's something I can't get rid of. Sometimes I'm in my sleep and the Holy Spirit, if I'm going to preach and I will prepare a word, you know, and for the night, I tell you the Holy Spirit will deal with my mind with what I preach. And all of these that I've went through, the bottom line is that I have learned to trust God through all of this.
God Almighty.
Person will look for you and judge you, but they don't know your relationship.
Amen.
God. Them don't know the struggle, them see the good. People tell me one time, years ago, persons would say at my first church, some persons pass remarks and say, because you know, when them see your husband up on fire, I say, me no fit him. But they wouldn't understand. Because I tell them, say, no, because I see you kick down the chair, me I go kick it down too.
No.
I can't do it like you.
Everybody have a different calling.
Right. I cannot do it like everybody else.
Yes.
But at the end of all of the struggles and all that I've been through, it's not always struggles. I've had good times, a lot of good times. And the good times, it's not about having plenty. We have little bit, but we have good times.
Yeah.
We have marital struggles. I have marital struggle where I tell my husband, get divorce paper, even before him turn pastor, me before me and pastor's wife. And when him get the marriage paper, I'm cuss him and tell him, see, they want to divorce me. Because, you know, and we have been through a lot of struggles. My families are dear and them never know, say me and my husband quarrel. And I tell you, when I say quarrel, I mean a little quarrel, you know. We are at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are at it. Women come at my husband, same people in the church, and tell, I said they never know so more than them. See me, I'm a pitney, I'm my husband, I go home, I come at church. People call me on phone, church sisters, I call me on phone and tell me some things, left church and start tell me some things. What daytime when they know my husband gonna work, where their husband want to do with them, what my husband want to do, and where them want to do with my husband, and my husband not want me. And I tell you, people come at my house, say they come visit me with baby when I have baby, take out my husband, picture out the album, care, go put up on the dresser, do I have to go for that and tear it up. And I remember one time I left my baby. I heard that the sister have my picture, husband picture. I missed the picture the night, you know. And from I missed the picture, the vice said to me, say, call the person name. Me hear the person name in my head, you know. And when I tell him the time, him hear number two, him knows that she have it. Him can't tell me because them know, them afraid that when me hear, what gonna happen. Till long after now, somebody else tell me, say she have the picture over there. And I do all that sort of something. The day I leave my baby with my sister, I said to her, I said, I said, Michelle, what happened? I said, nothing happened, man. So then I go up there, I walk it. Them time I tell you, when I say my head did hot, it did hot. Because I just feel so I have to defend my turf, I have to defend my turf, I have to defend my turf. And when I walk in the house, I said to her, I said, it's two things going to happen. Either you beat me in your house or me beat you in your house. But I want my picture. Seriously, that's all I could say. Two things happen. I said, me not get beat up, you know. I tell her, two things are going to happen. She get beaten or me get beaten in her house. But I want the picture. When I get it, I just mince it up back and just... and them do a lot of things. I tell you, it was...
it has...
And then the devil are easy, you know, because the devil knows, say, when I'm in the world, a girl's man, you know.
Yes.
Because when me just meet him, that man a woman, you know. All woman when tell me say I'm anti-friend them. End up to be. Trust me, because a rummage cricketer woman, you understand?
Yes, yes.
But we have gone through, and then the devil, because I tell people all the while, you know, sis, the enemy will not use what you are not weak to.
Not at all.
But the enemy use to attack you is your weaknesses.
Yes, yes.
You can't use your strength.
He won't.
He will use your weakness. So if him know say you're thief, you're weak to thief, he might go put things in he might go make you want to collect, and you want to collect the offering.
Yes, yes.
If him know say you have issues with this, and that he might go come at you with. So he's not going to come at you. So a lot of persons don't understand, you know, if the enemy is targeting you at a area, you need to find out, is that, do I have issues with that?
Right. Or is there an open door?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any area that he's targeting, that is the area that you have issue with.
Yes.
Because sometimes we know, because we get saved, we don't want to look on it and say, you know, so I have problem with this, or I have problem with that. We don't want to face the reality that we are not over it. We get saved, but we never deal with it. That is why I have a problem with people in the world. I love the DJs and all of that, you know. I talk it all the while. Because I'm a concert. I go concert till my week, especially when I'm younger. When my young people them get saved, I carry them a concert because I want them experience that. But I have an issue if a person is in the world for years, you are dancehall people, you are this people and all of that, you do all sorts of living and you get saved. I believe that there must be a processing.
Yes.
Because you just come in and minister this and minister that. It don't work so. I don't know who sees it so, but me suffer so much and I never used to live them life there. And I had to go through a lot of process.
Yes.
Me have a problem with hating you. If you do me not, me just hate you. And me carry the hate, me I tell you, me carry it rough. And God had to deal with me. The Holy Spirit have to work on that. That's versus do me some stuff now. I can tell you, sis, people who have been good to them do me some stuff. I'm going to say, me, I'm going to cut them off and I cannot cut them off. And when I say cut them off, is that I not eat them.
You just
have to help them. I still have to help them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a process. It's a process. And no matter how much years you're in a church, it's not the years. It's how much you can grow and mature.
Yes, yes.
And it takes a lot. I can't imagine when Jesus sit down up there beside him Father over the years when me I come up. And when Jesus I go again to make intercession for me, for beg pardon for me. Imagine when God say, she again? I can't imagine. Sometimes I sit down and talk to myself and laugh.
Yeah, come
say,
again. Oh Lord.
She again? God beg for same person I come beg for again. You understand? Because and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Persons see us now, we know. Them see us now, but them not understand what the before was. They only can talk about the after.
The story. A lot of us, people look at us and say, oh, yeah. But as I've always said to persons, me never reach, when we reach overnight, it was a lot of hardship, all of a mistake. I fell down so many times. And I had to learn a lot of eye waters. I had to go back to God. And just as how you're saying, you have to go back. You tell God, say, all right, me now, God, when something happens, I go keep my mouth. Me now open my mouth because when I open my mouth, I get in trouble. So God, me now go say nothing. And then 2 days after something happened, you open your mouth again and you're gone back and beg God pardon. But the thing about all of this is that having gone through all that you went through, I mean, 2 sons that you lost, you know, due to unfortunate circumstances, the struggles and all of that. Today, you are able to sit with, I mean, anybody just about to go on any platform as you go around and you speak, you know, different places, as you preach in your own church, as you encourage others, as you're pouring into young lives, you're able to say to them, where I am here because God has been good. And now you're able to give him the praise because my life, your life, I mean, the twist and the turns, as I said earlier, but all for purpose, because God had to bring you through all of that in order for you to, you know, to be positioned where you are now, so that you not only give him praise, but that you will also pull others as you go in worship, as you lead worship, rather, you're encouraging and ushering others in the presence of the Lord. And what an awesome testimony it has been. And truly, it is one of those testimonies that just want you, that you just want to just lift up your hands and say, Lord, I just bless you. I just honor you, because truly, through your life, Lady Rhona, and all you have been through, we certainly can, you know, just exalt him. We can give him praise. I want to thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. When I say us, I mean myself and the audience, you know, as you shared your own, some of your stories, and, you know, giving God the glory and the honor. It has been a pleasure. Your testimony has moved my heart, and I know that, you know, the audience will also be moved, knowing that, you know, people, you see people, and you wouldn't understand what they've been through unless they tell you. And even when they tell you, you can't fully understand because you have not actually walked in those shoes. But to the viewers, I want to remind you that, you know, this is another testimony that your life may be just messed up and broken and in pieces and all over the place. But God is able to allow purpose to be fulfilled so that He will get the glory out of your life, because everything that happens to us is for a reason. And that reason is to teach us some lessons, to bring others to Christ, to help us to encourage others so that God can get the glory out of our lives as we continue to embrace my life, my purpose, His praise. I want you to continue to stay focused on God, regardless of the struggles, because yes, the struggle is real, but God is able to see you through all of them. So walk with gentle people. It was a pleasure having you sitting and listening to Lady Rhona, and it was certainly a pleasure having you, Lady Rhona. God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing. We share people not because, you know, we are all cute and dandy, or because we want to big up our statuses, but we share because we want others to understand that, you know, regardless of the issues that you're facing, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. God bless you. Walk with gentle people, and I will see you in the next recording of my life, my purpose, His praise.
God bless you.